So today I'm going to be using all Dollar Tree items to make a witch hat wreath. You will need a witch hat wreath form, pipe cleaners, embellishments, whatever embellishments you would like. These are some I may use. You're also going to need lots of deco mesh in multiple colors, whatever colors you would like to use yourself. I have orange and black. This is the orange and black stripe. And then I also have orange, white, and yellow. I have 9 rolls of deco mesh. Hopefully it will be enough. You're going to need scissors, glue sticks, and glue gun. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this black deco mesh around the top, but I want to secure it just a little bit with some glue, which may not be necessary, but it makes me feel better. I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on the top. Just a little bit on here just to make sure it's gonna stay when I put it on. It may not be necessary if you wrap it tight enough, but I just wanted to stay once I start putting it on too. Just be careful touching it because it is hot. The deco mesh is thin. Okay, so I'm just gonna start wrapping around the wreath. I'm gonna wrap the deco mesh all the way down the top of the witch's hat. Okay, I can already tell that this deco mesh is not going to be turning out black. I just ran out of ribbon on here, so if you run out of ribbon, just go ahead and add a little bit more glue to glue down the end, and then you can add in a new section of deco mesh right over it. Okay, so I'm just opening up a new roll. Just add a little bit of glue on there. And just go ahead and add in the rest of the other roll and just start wrapping again. Okay, so I finished covering the top section of the witch hat with the deco mesh. Definitely more gold than black at this point. Okay, so I'm going to be starting cutting my deco mesh out in 9-inch sections. I'm going to cut this first one and then I will use it as my guide to cut the rest of the pieces. I'm going to cut quite a few pieces because this is what I'm going to be filling in the bottom section of the wreath in. I'm going to be making bundles with my deco mesh. I'm going to
cut that right here, right about 9 inches. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to continue cutting 9-inch sections of the orange and black and the other colors I'm using.
Okay, so now I have cut several pieces of my deco mesh. I cut so far 10 of the black, 10 of the orange, and then I cut 10 of the candy corn, and then 10 of the black and orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making my bundles to add onto the bottom of the wreath. Also, what I'm going to do, because I don't need pipe cleaners this long, is I'm gonna cut my pipe cleaners in half so I can save pipe cleaners, not to use as many. Stack them up. Just cut some in half for now. Okay, this is long enough. So I'm gonna start making some bundles. I'm using 4 colors because that's what I have in my bundle. So I'm gonna use 4 pieces in each bundle, one of each of my colors, one of the candy corn, one of the orange black, one of the plain orange, and one of the plain black. But however you want to do yours, this is just what I'm doing for mine because of what I have, and a lot of it will depend on what you can find in your Dollar Tree. So they're already kind of curly queued up because they're deco meshes, but we are going to be curling them up, rolling them up into little rolls. I'm just taking it and rolling it semi-tight, but not, you know, too tight. And I typically just hold them in my hand. Everything's sticking together. I just hold this in my hand, or if you have like a paper clip, you could do that. So I'm gonna start rolling my orange now. Okay, so now I have 2 for my bundle. They don't need to be perfect.
Okay, so now I'm starting working on my bundles, rolling up my 4 sections for my bundle. Starting with the orange and black color. Now the orange. I'm going to be making several of these bundles. I'm going to start with 10 for now and see how many more I will need to fill in the bottom of the wreath. Okay, just rolling up the 4th one for this bundle because I'm putting 4 pieces per bundle. Right, so that's what the bundle is going to look like. Okay, now that I have my bundle, I'm going to take a piece of pipe cleaner and I'm going to wrap it around the middle of the bundle, pinch it tight in the middle, and then that way you can get the pipe cleaner around and twist it to hold it in place. Just like that. I'm going to continue making more bundles just the same way. I'm going to start rolling all the pieces again. And I'm putting my colors in my bundle in a pattern, but that's not necessary if you don't want to. It's just what I wanted to do, so I folded them all and placed them all in the same direction, just to kind of keep some color consistency in the bundles. Okay, there's the bundle, so I'm going to take another pipe cleaner and twist it around just like I did before. Pinch it tight in the middle, wrap it around, and twist. I'm just going to continue making several bundles, enough to fill up the bottom of the wreath. Okay, so I have made about 10 to 12 bundles, and I'm going to start attaching them to the bottom of my witch wreath down here. So I went ahead and added one bundle to the wreath already. I'm going to start taking them and twisting them on the bottom of the wreath to make the bottom of the witch hat. Open up the pipe cleaner so I can attach it and twist it onto the wire. Try to put them as close as possible to make the wreath fuller. I'm going to take it and I'm going to twist the pieces around. And I'm just going to wrap it around and twist one more time to secure it. Okay, so there's that one. Go ahead and add another bundle to the wreath. I'm going to try to alternate them, one on the top and one on the bottom, to make sure it's nice and full. As again, I'm going to go ahead and take this one and twist the pipe cleaner around the wire to secure. Go ahead and twist. And try to wrap it around and twist it again. Okay, I'm going to continue covering the bottom of the wreath with my bundles. Okay, so I think I can fit one more on this very end right here. That's as many bundles as I have, so it works out. I think that I have 17 bundles that I have used, but I'm not for sure. Somewhere between 15 and 17. Twisting an extra time. All right. So there is the bottom. See that? Kind of upset that this top is not black like I thought it was going to be, because the ribbon looked like it was black with gold, but now on the wreath it looks just like gold. Okay, so I'm really not liking this color that's coming out. I thought this was going to be a black ribbon, but it's looking mostly gold. So I found another black ribbon that I have at home, which is not a Dollar Tree ribbon, but this is a black mesh ribbon I got from Michael's. I'm gonna try and cover this on this, cover this up, this gold mess here. See if I can make it look better.
I finished wrapping that black ribbon over top of here, and I feel like it looks a lot better, which I still wish it would be a little bit more black, but it's better than it was. And then I took a little bit of the orange Dollar Tree deco mesh and wrapped it down here to make like a little sash for the hat. So this is what it's looking like now, and I'm gonna see what kind of embellishments I can do to finish it up. Okay, so this wreath is getting so big, it's getting a little bit harder to film, so I'm sorry for all the weird angles. I'm gonna go ahead and just start adding a little bit of embellishments. So I have these pumpkin picks, but they're too long for this, so I'm gonna cut them out in half so I can stick some of those in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play around with some placement for these. Add some little pumpkins in here. If there's any holes or anything, try and stick them in there. Okay, I'm not gonna glue anything right this minute. All right, guys, so I wasn't really loving how it looked, so I ended up adding in some of my feathers. I added in some purple feathers here down in the bottom, and then a few green up here at the top to break up the color a little bit. And then I still have my little pumpkins in here.
These flowers that I have from Dollar Tree, I really like the black and purple color, and they have the spooky eyeballs in the middle. They also have spiders on them and different things. So I'm going to be using these. And I need a wire cutter to cut the flowers off. You won't be able to use scissors to cut those off. And then I got this black ribbon that I may or may not be using. I have two different wreath forms. Not sure which one I want to end up using. But these are small little wreath forms. So it's going to be a small wreath. I have my glue gun. It's like 100 years old. So my first step is that I'm cutting off my flowers. And like I said, you need to use a wire cutter because scissors won't cut it. Sometimes you can snap them off with your hands, but it's usually hard. It's just easier to just use the wire cutter. So I'm snapping this off because I should be using all these flowers. And I'm also going to snap off these spiders and all these little pieces because I might be using them in the wreath. I'm not sure yet. At the top, I did glue the ribbon on top like a loop to hang it from. You see right there. Now I'm just kind of figuring out how to put the flowers on here and end up with this wreath because it's easier to just stick these stems of the flowers in between like the little wooden pieces on this wreath. The other wreath I had would be better if I was like using ribbon to wrap around and things like that. I think I got this little wreath at Michael's a long time ago. I was trying to see if I might use these pumpkins on there, but I don't think they're going to match well with the flowers. So I'm just gluing right across, and I'm just kind of sticking it in between the wood, and then the glue is also holding the flower to the wood as well. If you can see, just sticking it right there in between the little wood pieces on this wreath. If you had a foam wreath, you could do similar. You could use these type of flowers for a foam wreath and just stick the stems of the flowers into the foam, but I didn't have any foam wreaths left, and these are the ones I had at home, so I just went ahead and used what I had. But you could certainly go and buy a new wreath form if you needed to, if you're making a wreath. Trying to figure out placement, trying to make a pattern with these flowers. At first, I wasn't sure if I was going to have them go all the way around, but since I had enough to fit perfectly, that's what I'm going to do. Just continuing the same thing with the gluing. I'm alternating the flowers that do and don't have the eyeballs. I hope everyone's been doing well. I've been super busy with the school year. I'm sure most other parents are as well, with school and work and all the activities. The holidays coming up. It's just like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's the new year. It's just that time of year where it's just, you know, super busy nonstop. So I've been trying to do my best with my videos. I haven't had a lot of time. I mentioned on another one, I think like a short video, that I just started working full time. My kids are just a little bit older. So that's a big change. So I've just been really busy, trying to do all the things, do all the mama things, all the things, excuse me. But I'm just gonna have the flowers like that. So now I'm just gonna add in some of these extra embellishments, the spiders and some of these little twigs to add some depth to this wreath. Just trying to figure out placement a little bit, kind of how to lay these spiders on here. I'm going to lay some of these twigs in here where there's gaps. There's a little bit bigger of a gap on that side right there between these two flowers. So I'm just going to fill it with the twigs. Let's get these spiders on here. I'm just going to glue the spiders in here. I took the little stick out so I could just glue them right onto the flowers. Just hold that for a minute, and it should dry pretty quickly with the hot glue. I'm just trying to stick that in there in between the wood pieces. Here's the finished wreath. I hope you guys like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use glue to hold my ribbon on my wreath. But if you have like those floral pins, you can use those also. But I forgot to check to see if they had them at the Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna go ahead and open this off, and I'm just gonna wrap this around my wreath. And because if you can see, you know how thin this is with the wreath, I'm gonna have to, obviously you can see through, I'm gonna overlap it as I wrap. I'm just gonna put a little glue, just a little glue for starters, just to kind of hold it on there. And just be careful not to burn your hand. Alright, so I'm just gonna start wrapping. Alright, so like I said, I'm just gonna kind of like be overlapping as I go, so it's not completely see-through, so you can't see the green all the way through. Just kind
kind of like that. Kind of layer it so, you know, it's looking black and orange, not with the green. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this whole thing, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have wrapped my whole wreath in this spider web mesh, and then I just glued down the end. When I was finished, I put a lot of glue on there just to make sure it's secure. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pumpkin and split it in half to put on the wreath. So you may need a knife for this. That's what I'm going to try to use. Alright, so that's really loud and annoying, so I'm going to do this and I'm going to come back. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut my pumpkin in half, and this is what the cut half looks like. It's got a little toothpick in there that's holding the stem. You can see it. There you go. It's got a little toothpick in there that's holding this stem, and obviously it's just styrofoam. I didn't split the stem in half. I was scared I was going to cut it, so I just kind of I had cut through the whole pumpkin area, and then when I got to the top, I just kind of like wiggled them until the stem came off on one side. You could probably cut it if you want. I just didn't want to risk breaking it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue it on here, kind of like maybe at the bottom, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply glue around the edge of this, and I'm going to attach it to the wreath. You gotta be kind of quick with this, because hot glue dries fast and it's kind of a large area to glue. So I'm just going to take it and pop it right about where I want it. I'll hold that for a minute and let it dry. So my pumpkin is adhered to my wreath. It's really easy, just glued right on there. Just kind of see the back. Just kind of glued it on there. So my next step is going to be, I want to attach my bats. These are the bats that I have. I'm going to start with the black and see if I want to add the purple in or not. But these have little clips on the back. So I'm going to try and hook these on the, like the little folds of the ribbon. Kind of hook them in there. Like here's a little section that I could probably just stick it in here. If you have it really, really tight, you might not be able to do it, but mine's fairly tight. I'm still getting it in there. Just gonna scoot it over. Right, so there's that. Okay, so I don't know if this makes sense, but the way that I wrapped it, if I hook the bats under the wrapping, you know, coming around this way, they're going to face this way. But if I try and hook it this way, they're going to have to go downward to get into there. So I'm going to fashion a little hole on this side for it to go into. So I'm just going to kind of measure it up. I'm just going to cut like a little snip. And you don't have to do this. You can find a different way if you want. I just cut a little, you can't even see it, a little snip. And then I can hook it in there if it's big enough. Yep. Yeah, so I just cut a little snip and for it to go in there, and it's hooking right on there. Then you can kind of wiggle it around and maneuver it if you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple more bats and I'll be back. Alright, so I went ahead and I added a skull on here. I'm going to show you how I did it on the other side. So this particular skull, I don't want to sit it like that. I want it to glue like here. So I'm just going to put glue right here and then glue it on. Alright, so I just put glue on the back of its head in a little circle. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to press it down right in between where I want it. I'm going to hold that. Okay, so I went ahead and I have glued on all my skulls and put all my bats on here and the pumpkin. So the last part kind of can depend on how you want to finish it, on how you want to hang it. If you want to hang it like I'm going to from ribbon, or you could put something else right here if you're going to hang it on one of those like wreath hooks that will go hook in the back. So I'm just going to go ahead. I did get this chevron, what's it called, ribbon from Dollar Tree, but I got it last year. I don't know if they still have it this year. But I'm just going to go ahead and loop this through and make it to where I can hang my wreath from it. So I'm going to go ahead and just see how long I want it to be. I'm thinking maybe around here. It just depends on where you're hanging it. Like I said, you can do different lengths or hang it in different ways. That's all up to you. So I'm just going to cut it here. Okay, so I went ahead and cut it. I'm going to overlap these ends and then glue it to connect it. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue across here. Now I'm going to take this and glue it on here. Don't press down with your fingers with a thin ribbon like this. I'm just going to use my scissors so you don't burn your hands. I'm going to let that dry, but I just want to show you it's just like this. Okay, so this is all dry. I'm just going to kind of loop it back around this way and have the glued part down here. And if you want, you can glue the ribbon in place on the wreath. So here is my finished wreath for the collab. It's very spooky with the skulls and bats, and then it's got the spider webs. It's fairly easy, and like I said, everything is from the Dollar Tree.